What's up? Hey, everybody. Last minute, sorry about this. I had an emergency this morning situation, so I wasn't able to create this event earlier in the week. Earlier in the day, I should say. I just forgot to set it earlier in the week. This has been a weird week, but I'm really happy to have you here. We're going to be listening through a bunch of Patreon requests today. As you know, this is our Friday Patreon stream. It happens every Friday at this point. Really always excited to dive into more music and explore just a whole bunch of awesome stuff. Do stay tuned, though, if you're just tuning in, that there will start to be other non-Patreon specific streams over here on the channel. That's important to me. Thank you for everybody that's dropped some suggestions or thoughts on the recent video about ways to improve the channel. I'm always looking to do that. So let's dive in. We have a lot to get through. I am well enough. My mother unfortunately sprained her ankle, so we had to deal with that this morning. So I am considering Epic the Musical, though it's completely not related to what I cover on the channel. So I'll have to figure out how to make that work. You're buried in snow already? Oh my God. While people filter in, I feel like, what's up? How you doing? Would love to just check in with you and see how things are going. And you know, it's been a week. For some better and for some worse, and a whole bunch of stuff, huh? She'll be all right. She's got a brace on and stuff. So the goal today is to get through one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. We're gonna try to go for 30 songs today. The current list is hey Ben, hey Nate, hey Adam, hey Gremlin, hey Deersley. The goal, we have about 140 songs for the month. And nothing for next month. But yeah, we're just cruising. Is this the right video title? No, it's not. Oh boy. That's absolutely the wrong stream. I don't know why I did that. That should not have happened. I even fixed it and everything this morning. Nope, we're not talking about TennoCon. Oh man. All right, let me just. All right, well, it is what it is. All right, we're here now. All right, let's you know, I started playing Dragon Age Veilguard yesterday, and I have to say the gameplay is fine. The music is not impressing me so far. It just feels very like whoa, 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 kind of intense, but it doesn't really. It's just like movie music, which is not anything bad, but ever so slightly just kind of there. So the gameplay itself has been fine. Yeah. Anyway. All right. We're going to dive right in with Jack's theme, which is really interesting. I actually just heard this by Alex Mukala. That video needs to come out here in a little bit. Movie music meaning a no melodic emphasis. No melodic emphasis, no real forward drive. There's intensity and stuff, but nothing really prickles the ears, if it makes sense. Now, there's a scene in the beginning with Solus when you see him, doing stuff, and you're like, whoa, that's very intense music. But, actually, let's dive into some drama before we listen to music, too, because one of the things that I saw today were the nominees for the Grammys. And boy, is it weird. Nominees for the Grammys: Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, God of War Ragnarok Valhalla, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Wizardry, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord by Winifred. So, I mean, in terms of composers, all of these composers are wonderful in their own right. Just amazing stuff. Now, how much of this is memorable? It's hard to say. And so my question is, how are the Grammys structuring this? Like, what are the requirements? You know, God of War, popular franchise, Spider-Man franchise, Star Wars franchise. Wizardry is like the only one that's even remotely obscure. Avatar, I made a video on it. It did have some impressive music, but I have to say, none of it was memorable. You know, so it's a bit frustrating. And yeah, Kremen, I think usually the Grammys are delayed by a year. Although Frontiers came up, yeah. So I think you know I think this Grammy situation is still very complicated. I mean, last year's, who won the Grammy for video game music last year? Star Wars. Last year it was Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And again, I mean, oh yeah, and then okay, no, yeah, 23 was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and then nominees were Aliens, Fireteam, Austin Wintory, Call of Duty Vanguard, which I didn't think was memorable at all, but Bear's a very good, talented composer, obviously. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Old World, Christopher Tin, sure. You know, I mean, and then 2024 was Star Wars, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, God of War Ragnarok, Hogwarts Legacy, Stray Gods, which, you know, that would have been an interesting win. Now, it's hard for me because, you know, I don't want to dismiss any composer's abilities because all of these composers individually are quite talented. I don't think anybody's going to say that the music in these games is bad. No one's going to say that the music in these games is inherently not good, right? But my big problem with all of this is that it's just such a narrow scope. And I understand that they probably can include Eastern composers. So, you know, there's most, it's all West. I mean, there's no Chinese or Japanese composers. I appreciate what they're doing. You know, Christopher Tin, one of the first people to win this award from a video game, for Baba Yetu, and I believe for Sogno di Volare as well. Obviously, Old World is very good. Christopher Tin's music is phenomenal. I mean, Richard Jacques, I don't know what else he's composed. Looks like Mass Effect, Jet Set Future, Sonic R, you know, Little Big Planet 2. I mean, like, you know, Bear, obviously, we know Bear for a bunch of different stuff. He's probably like one of the more prolific of the composers on the list. Austin, of course, for Journey, for Abzu, for, you know, so much melodic and beautiful music. Sarah, I didn't know. Or Stephanie, I didn't know either. You know, so a lot of this feels very zoomed in and lensed in on like recognizable IPs, recognizable names, and composers that really thread the needle between movies and video games. So I think we have a lot of work to do when it comes to expanding this so that we are incorporating the broader scope of what video game music is. And I think part of the problem for this category, and actually, well, let me read this. The Grammy Award for Best Score Soundtrack for Video Games and Other Interactive Media was announced on June 9th, 2022. Of the categories, we are excited to honor these diverse communities of music creators through the newly established awards and amendments and continue cultivating an environment that inspires change, progress, and collaboration, which is funny because you're picking the most homogenous and like obvious choices. The Academy's top priority is to effectively represent the music people that we serve, and each year that entails listening to our members and ensuring our rules and guidelines reflect our ever-evolving industry. Prior to the creation of this category, only 3 video game soundtracks have ever been nominated at the Grammy Awards, and many composers and studios have been campaigning for the Recording Academy to recognize the medium for some time. The first piece was Baba Yetu, like I mentioned, Christopher Tin, Civilization 4, which won Best Instrumental Arrangement, accompanying vocals. Austin Wintory's Journey was nominated for a Grammy for Best Score Soundtrack for Visual Media. And in 2022, Charlie Rosen and Jake Silverman won the Grammy Award for Meta Knight's Revenge from Kirby Superstar. So, obviously, yes, of course, awards don't mean anything. Like, we recognize that, right? We recognize that awards are sort of a meaningless accolade. Now, it's not meaningless for the composers because, how often are we even talking about video game composers ever? In day-to-day? Probably not very much at all. So, on the one hand, I want to recognize that it's a beautiful thing that we're finally at the point where the Grammys, one of the most important awards outside of the games industry itself, right? We're talking about like outsiders looking in. We're not talking about the Golden Joystick Awards. We're not talking about the BAFTA Awards. We're not talking about the Game Awards, whatever that means to you. We're talking about like outside of the industry from a recognized like award ceremony, the Grammys. So, in that case, it's a big deal. However, I think that we need to continue to push the envelope and see beyond this limited scope of what's popular, what's trending, and what's, recognizable to an audience, and also what's recognizable to the voters and to the people that are picking these choices. And I find it really interesting. So I'm not disparaging the composers at all. I think like composing is very difficult. I think that composers deserve recognition, but I do think that as this continues, we're now in the 3rd year of it, we continue to push this envelope into the real like meat of what makes, video game music so important and so special and so meaningful to such a large community of people. And I don't think we're doing that yet. And I think that we have a lot of work to do. Yeah. So those are my hot takes on that. I thought it was really interesting and worth bringing up to you. I thought it would be worth it to at least address this because, this is a really exciting thing. But also we need to continue to move that envelope and to push that and move that goalpost to where video game music of all shapes and sizes, whether it's indie, AAA, AA, what have you, is getting recognition that it deserves outside of the industry and inside the industry. So anyway, thanks a ton. I'll see you later. I figure I'll turn that into a video. So while I was talking, I was like, let me grab that. All right. Putting my game head on. We're listening to Jack's theme. I recently listened to this actually with Alex Mukala, but I didn't break it down. So Stranger of Paradise is a piece that a lot of people don't actually like really know or have paid attention to. So I've only listened to this piece once, but I'd really like to explore why it's so meaningful and why it actually like just works really well. So let's dive in. This is composer Naoshi Mizuta. Stranger of Paradise can be really dumb at times, earnestly so. Yeah, I agree. But that just makes the serious moments that much more sincere. The best 7 out of 10 game I've played and one of the criminally overlooked score composed by some of Final Fantasy veterans. 110 tracks. You adore this game. Well, you're wrong, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Just kidding. All right, let's check it out. So it's an incredible opening, isn't it? Also, do we know what time I started that? I think I just started that a couple seconds ago. Let me just chapters, the Grammys, and then that was, I would say that was 15:30. Yeah, I've been debating. I've actually been debating. I don't know that I'm going to have time this year. I mean, I do have all of November, but I think I would actually like to take a look at what's come out this year and create a sort of video series, or even have you vote on wait, shit, this is a different stream than the one I have opened. Create a like sort of award ceremony for video games, or at the very least, like highlight some stuff that I think came out this year. And I mean, I do think that I have a decent pulse. Wait, shit, this is a different stream than the one. I do think I have a decent pulse on the music of gaming on the whole. So, one sec, guys. I'm so sorry. 0000 Grammy chat. Hello, Marquis. I think it'd be really funny to do the Meatball Award. That would be very funny. Jack's theme. I'm just trying to do timestamps so that people know where things are. Jack's theme, Stranger of Paradise. What's up, Slide? All right. So the opening here is really, I mean, Dearsley made a joke about it, but it really is chaos. And I think that's amazing because the way it starts. So what are we doing there? Ba, 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 ba. It's pretty rhythmic. We have the sopranos at the very upper register, the very upper range of their expression. So when they're singing, they're really belting, screaming, enthusiastically, antagonistically. You have a sharp rhythm. Ba, 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 ba. You know what I mean? That's really in your face. And then on top of that, you have what's going on underneath is really interesting because you have the basses. I actually really will consider this the Meatball Awards. The Meatball. I don't have the money to make actual awards, but that would be fucking hilarious if I just like sent composers a giant fucking silver meatball made of sterling silver or some shit. Which is plastic. Just a plastic meatball. You've won the Meatball Award. The Meatball Award goes to, for the best indie game music, goes to male soaking a plastic fucking meatball. Anyway, so also underneath the men here, it's very interesting because the chaos really to me comes from the bottom of this, which is actually coming from the male chorus, and it's actually doubled if I believe it's Chad Pikachu. Yeah, it just that's fair. I love how intense that is. And really, I think it does a great job of immediately thrusting us into this idea of Jack being sort of chaos. You know what I mean? Like he's the epitome of rage, of violence, of intensity, and of, really feeling like there's a sense of brutality in chaos, or in Jack, because of that chaos. You know what I mean? It's cool. Let's keep going. See, isn't that such a wonderful, smooth transition to a different emotional idea? Did you pick up on that, guys? Did you pick up on how we go from we there's a really nice, smooth transition right in here. Listen. So we have a fake out, and then now right here. We shift in keys. Now, I don't know what the chords are there, but what ends up happening is we go ba, ba, We have the glissando, or the twinkling of the bells, and then we shift into a new emotional idea, and also sort of a new melodic idea, even though the strings are still the ones that are sort of dominating that. Now we get this really florid thing, this very fluid motion, and it comes from the strings. And so the strings carry us through this little transition. And I'm stopping here because the transition is really important, because how do we get from all this nonsense here, which is just purely madness and chaos, into this, which is much, much, much more languid and a lot more legato. We have the strings, and emotionally, you can also note that emotionally here, we have a different mental structure emotionally than we do here, because this is all like anger, chaos, rage, what have you. It's a little bit big and kind of crazy, whereas this middle section is much more dialed in, much more much more controlled, less temperamental, more well, I was going to say more temperate emotionally. There's a little bit of dissonance with the singers, and we're just trading off instruments in here, right? Shut up. See, that's incredible too. I mean, again, like, what a fantastic piece. We really only get, and this is something worth pointing out to you, is that we really only get a tiny bit here of this emotional quality of like contemplation or peace. We're instantly thrust into more anger, more chaos, more agitation here, and then it actually peaks for us here. And this is always where the most replayed section is. It's always kind of a bummer that, like, most people, probably myself included, we only tend to replay the most epic shit. We rarely spend time in here, which is such a bummer, because, like, this is really where, like, the meat and potatoes of the piece. It's not this 30-second little interlude. What we actually get is this is actually more important in a lot of ways. This is the climax of the piece, of course, but this is actually where the money actually is, because we have to get there, and we can't get there if we just go there right away. There has to be a natural build. Now, obviously, in this piece, you can see the other peak. It's just so funny. Here we set this thing up. Sorry, I'm phlegmy because I don't know why. Because I had oatmeal. This is where we're actually building up. Initially, we come in, we thrust into our face, we get punched in the face, and then here is the section where we're really contemplating our anger, or maybe this is like a bit of emotional intelligence, right? But then, of course, then finally we get the payoff right here where we start to see the transition. And then you see how again transitions are really important, and I don't know why I'm harping on this in this particular piece, but I found it really interesting how over here we have the solo viola take over, and then over here here we have the men going shut up yada 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 da ba yada da ba ba, right? Whoa, see, but that's sorry, I'm so sorry. That's a really deceptive switch there. And it's interesting how I think this really does such a great job of expressing who Jack is, because Jack is just emotionally unstable. He's a volcano, right? And so we have these peaks and valleys with Jack as a character, but also as a person. Jack is not stable. So like he'll have moments of being chill, and the next moment he's basically just a Scorpio come to life. You know what I mean? A lot of unison movement there too. Classic ending there as well. Really solid piece. Really terrific use of intensity, dynamics, color. It doesn't overstay its welcome at 2 minutes. It's a really, really well done piece. And a great suggestion this month. So thank you very much for providing that for me. It was great to analyze. Okay. Next up is from Limbus Company. Rosatrist. Just a really fun, chaotic piece from the latest story chapter. Kanto 7, Boss Battle 1 from Limbus Company. Fuck. Just a little phlegmy. Sorry. Okay. All right, let's go. Oh man, what a terrific piece. That is just so interesting. A few things that I really just adored this is that the laughter symbolizes a sort of mental instability that's really terrific. And I also think that there's a fun clash there because we have this mixture of swing and big band then thrust into this electronica EDM real thrust. And I would say that there's a dichotomy in that music that's really interesting because see, this is when EDM is done right to me. And it enhances a piece rather than takes away from it, because we have a very clear genre with this big band 1920s swing, a little bit almost da 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 dum ba da bum ba da dum ba da dum ba da ba da ba ba da ba da ba 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 da ba da ya ba da 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 boom. So you have this very like confident soundscape, and that soundscape, I think, to me really represents a period of time of great enthusiasm, or a great joie de vivre, if you will, a joy of living in that music. So then you take that and you add an elemental EDM electronic sound quality over top of it, which sort of contorts it, deforms it, modifies it, changes it ever so slightly. And what you do is actually elevate that experience. And both of these things combine, and it's like having a perfect child. You merge two things together, you end up with a baby, and the baby takes all your money and ruins your life. And so that's not related, but my point is that to me it really feels like this particular theme benefits immeasurably from having the electronic stuff in there. I really loved there was a distinct moment of decay and build at one point near the middle-ish, and it was terrific because I wouldn't say it defies expectations, but it does leave us just ever so like, wow, this is so fascinating and exciting, because you think the piece is about to end, but then it twists on itself and it speeds up and just pop, it just punches you in the face. A really exceptional piece, and a piece that I truly just enjoyed immensely. Really, really great. Probably my favorite Limbus Company piece I've heard. I know the Limbus Company fan base is very voracious, and that one was absolutely my favorite of the lot so far. Also, Kremen, just FYI, I can't highlight tracks on the spreadsheet. So if you have the capacity to either do it for me or pass over ownership of that for whatever reason, I can't do it myself. So if you don't mind highlighting for me. Bonsoir, Rodion. Je suis tellement content que tu es ici. Bonjour à tous les Françaises. Oh, don't look at that. Okay. Next up is Sogno di volare. Una voce che vola. Thank you. Let me just get the lyrics for this really quickly. Coucou. Allô. Bonsoir à tout le monde. Bonsoir à tous. Nous sommes ici. I'm happy to hear that, Pinago. Hold on, sorry. Just grabbing the lyrics for Sogno di volare. I'll do a pretty detailed breakdown of this one. I love this song so much. Suddenly French. Hey, Nitro. All right. While most players seem to prefer Baba Yetu as their favorite track from the Civ games, my favorite is its counterpart from Civ 6, apparently based on a poem written by none other than Leonardo da Vinci. It really communicates the spirit of discovery, development, and progress with these games, what these games are all about. What absolutely. Wow, nous avons tellement français ici. J'aime beaucoup la France. J'aime le grignote, le pomme de terre et les haricots verts. Je les mangeais tous les jours quand j'étais à la France. J'aime beaucoup le poulet de le français. J'aime beaucoup le français. Non, well, et le poulet et le pain. J'aime beaucoup un baguette. J'ai mangé tout le jour, je mangeais en baguette. J'étais tellement contente quand je mangeais la baguette. Ok, Sogno di volare. So this is why this is genius. So first of all, I mean, I know this piece really well, so we're going to really analyze this from start to finish. But one of the things that really makes Christopher Tin amazing is Christopher's ability to be emotional. His music is very emotional. He's absolutely a romantic composer in a 21st century. And if you haven't seen my interview with Christopher Tin, I would implore you to search. We had a good chat about Sogno di Volare and several other pieces, including the old world series. We talked about that. We talked about Civilization. We were talking about the fact that he was writing. He actually just premiered it. His performance of Turandot, which was a reimagining of Puccini's Turandot. As you know, Puccini, or maybe you don't know, but Puccini died without finishing Turandot of cancer, and I believe. And so the ending has never been finished. And so Christopher Tin was commissioned by Washington National Opera to finish it and then provide his version. There have been several versions, one by a Chinese composer, one by Luciano Berio, and there was another one. I can't remember who. And then, of course, there was this version. And Jesus, Kremen, you're on it. Anyway, with all that being said, what I really adore about the beginning is how we build the intensity of this and the possibility of flight. We build that right off the bat. How do we do that? Well, we do that in the lower voices. We do that in the. Let me see. Let me just check something really quickly. 30. Bear with me, I'm sorry. Sheet music. Do they have a preview? Yeah. So check this out. This is the preview, but so it's in 12/8. And then where's the? Oh, okay. Well, this is a different version than what we're. Oh no, it's here. Okay. So what you end up having here, and the reason why this feels like it moves, is because the eighth note is the one that's getting the emphasis. What? That's just Well, the point is that this movement is what's driving this forward, right? We're looking at the tempo, allegro and energetico e maestoso. So we're moving at a pretty quick pace, which is what we're getting, obviously. Right? So we're getting all that. And then what's interesting is that when we come in, we still have that. You see this? But we have, look at this now. Una volta che avrai spiccato il voto deciderai. Right? So we have all of this movement happening underneath, but what are we doing? Una volta che vorrai. So if you look at this is a subdivision. We're breaking this down into this. Okay, so that's why we have, and then we're sustaining. And then what makes it really powerful is that spiccato il voto che ci dà. And then here we have, actually, we're moving right down here. I don't know if you can see it super well, but right down here, we have the same dotted quarters we have the same dotted quarters and then this sustained half note or dotted half note. And that's moving with us. Da, da, dee, da, da, dee, da, da, da. And that emphasizes that ending of that sentence, essentially. Spiccato il voto de to deciderai. Right? And then we go back to the da, 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 da. Then we have a bit of a key shift. Sguardo verso il ciel saprai. And then let's see. Li ba da 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 ba ba, and then we get our big chord here, right? Pretty cool. And then, just for the record, and again, this is just like a choral rendition, so I should do this. This would be a really fun cover. I'm working on Baba Yetu. It's taking me months, just because I haven't committed to it. But here, what's actually cool when we pick it back up and we go. Una volta che avrai. We changed. Now look at what's different. Now we have different whole chords. We have a third here. A third. And what we've done is we're actually shifting the layering of this piece so it's more full by adding more voices. You see this? You see how we've got the lower men and the middle men here, and then we've got these men, and then we've got the altos, and then we've got the soprano twos and the soprano ones. So what we're doing is we're creating structure. And on top of this, we have these chords here that are also fuller if you compare it to where we were here. You see how this is just layered totally differently. And we scrap the and we get these big block chords that are moving in unison with the vocals, which give it more emphasis. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And in this particular version, we're also getting emphasis. Bom, pium, bom, pium, bom, pium. Right? Isn't that fun? Also love this. I also love this. We say, once you have taken flight, una volta che avrai spiccato il volo, deciderai. You know, una volta che avrai spiccato il volo, deciderai. You'll decide, once you have decided to spiccato, that's a word I didn't know, to take flight, you will deciderai, you will decide, right? Really cool how we emphasize deciderai, because deciderai is to decide. You feel how deciderai is such a definitive, deciding something. Questa canzone è proprio perfetta da vibes, da accendino al concerto, infatti. Deciderai is such like an emphatic, to decide something is so meaningful, right? I am deciding. Deciderai, right? Right? Oh, deciderai. Guardo verso il ciel saprai. I love this. Wait, so and then it's beautiful because we have this sort of like we're sort of, these are just those chords I mentioned earlier, and when we end up with, you know, sguardo verso il ciel saprai, if you look to the gaze toward sguardo, or looking towards the sky, you'll know there il cuore sentirai, in your heart you will feel at home. Lì a casa il cuore sentirai, right? It's so cool. And then we re-emphasize. We just recap, but it's different now. Now it's much more like, this is when we get those full chords, so now we're really like hitting it home. So il ciel saprà. Lì a casa il cuore sentirai. You feel how that's a louder volume. That's a louder volume. And so there's more emphasis in that, right? That's much more in your face. That's much more like una volta che avrai spiccato il volo deciderai, sguardo verso il ciel saprai, lì a casa il cuore sentirai. You see how that's different than Una volta che avrai spiccato il volo deciderai. Sguardo verso il cielo saprai, lì a casa il cuore sentirai. Right? Isn't that amazing? And then we get going. Il grande cielo, il grande monte Ceceri. Wait, pause. Do you feel how there we're saying sorvolando il grande monte Ceceri, sweeping over the great Mount Ceceri? What you end up getting is sorvolando. You are sweeping. This beautiful word painting, and Christopher is very good at this. So what we end up getting is svorvolando. We're just floating through the air. We're flying. We're sweeping over that. I also like that here everything is really stretched out because we're flying. Flying is about being in the wind, about being in the sky. So we're saying verso il sole, il grande uccello, towards the sun, the great big bird. Well, yeah. Prenderai il primo volo. The bird will that big bird will take its first flight. Sorvolando il grande monte Ceceri, riempendo l'universo di stupore e gloria, filling the universe with stupor and glory. You know? That's fucking huge words. Riempendo l'universo di stupore e gloria. And then what's just so lovely about that is when they say, yeah, you know, like, because we're filling us, the people of the world. We repeat, we fill, you know, we fill the universe with stupor, with wonder and glory. How do I say we riempiamo? No, what the fuck? Io riempendo, tu riempisci, lui, lei riempengono, noi riempia. I don't know the conjugation for riempire. That's not good. Anyway, all that to say, it's this amazing riempendo l'universo di. It's playful because it's like, yes, we're filling the universe with stupor and glory. It's an amazing feeling to fill the world with stupor and glory, right? You'll decide. Riempi. Isn't that nice? What a nice little accent there too to decide to add the horns. Don't you feel that that is absolutely a celebratory trumpet there? And where does that come in? That comes in when actually, where does it come in? Hold on, let me rewind. Yeah, there, that's lì a casa il cuore sentirai. There, that is where your heart will feel at home. So also consider the fact that we're repeating ourselves here. We're not extrapolating more text. We're not changing the emotional impetus here. We are actually, I shouldn't say that. What I'm saying is the words themselves have not changed. What has changed is the emotional impetus. Because there's a big difference from earlier, lì a casa il cuore sentirai. There, your heart will feel at home. Here it's lì a casa il cuore sentirai, right? Isn't that different? Don't you feel that? I'm spending a lot of time on this because I've been asked to cover this quite a bit, but also because it's fucking gorgeous, you know? Shaka-kaka, 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 kaka-kaka, kaka-kaka, kaka-kaka. I accidentally realized that when I was emphasizing that I was saying caca the whole time. But isn't this cool too? L'uomo verrà portato dalla sua creazione. Man will be lifted by his own creation. Come gli uccelli verso il cielo. Just like the birds towards the sky. Watch this entire thing just be about Leonardo da Vinci's experiments. He was like, I'm going to write this poem about myself. It's kind of funny. And that's glorious too. And that's a glorious too. That's a glorious too, because my Italian accent's starting to come. What's incredible about this is that we're actually getting a counter melody. We're getting a counter melody in this that's basically sustaining that as we are just saying the same, we're repeating the same notes. We're saying, come gli uccelli verso il cielo, just like the birds towards the sky, riempendo l'universo di stupore e gloria. We are filling the universe with stupor and glory. But it's the counter melody that's driving it home for us. You know what I mean? Don't underestimate an O vowel. We're changing, we're shifting. Una volta che avrà spiccato il tuo deciderai. Think about how huge this is now, volume-wise. This is such in your face. Joy concederà. Quella casa il cuore sentirà. Now the organ comes in. Gloria, gloria. And why does the organ come in? Why does the organ come in? Because we say glory. We say glory. Glory, glory to the invitation to fly towards a new horizon, to begin a new life, to bring joy to the people of the planet. Fuck. It's so good. Anyway, that was really fun. I love Sogno di Volare. I love Baba Yetu. Christopher Tin's music is so deeply emotional and so deeply, deeply, deeply interesting. And he is a modern day romantic composer from the 20th century. I mean, like, this is incredible stuff. I mean, it's just incredible stuff. Definitely sit down. If you like romantic music like this, you will love opera. You will love classical music from the 1920s, the late 1900s into the 20th century. Such good stuff. There's Puccini's like this, late Verdi's like this to a degree. Gosh, there's it's a continuation of a romantic time period. Now, obviously, those guys weren't necessarily writing specifically chorus, but I can't recommend, if you like this, a Puccini opera is going to melt your brain. It's just so worth listening to. Hey, Sniper, I'm doing well. Anyway, sorry about that. That was The Elder Scrolls Online, huh? Okay. I know you've been playing a lot of ESO lately. Somerset Isles is one of my favorite places. I love how bright Somerset is. I enjoyed that DLC very much. One of those zones that you just want to stop and appreciate the scenery. Yeah, everything in that Somerset, yeah, it's cool. Across the Violet Sky from Violet Evergarden. I filmed a different version, or I filmed a different video, but that's good to know. This song has immediately struck a chord with me when I first heard it. This is Dusk Song of the High Elves from Elder Scrolls Online. Let's listen. Oh. Mm. Good album. That's saxophone? English. No, it's not something. Sounds like English horn. It's a little bit too nasal to be a sax. Wonderful clash there. Oh. Landing on the same chord after all that movement is exceptional. That's interesting. What an exceptional, first of all, Dusk Song of the High Elves. You really heard that. What an exceptional, first of all, what I'd like to say is I think it's an incredible thing here to not shy away from a piece that isn't a banger. Like, imagine if all you listen to is pieces of music that are bangers, but then you miss this like divinity. This is so well composed, and it's just such it's funny because visceral is a word that we would not attribute with this. And yet, what I imply when I say visceral is that it's raw. There's a nakedness in this piece, right? You can hear the high elves, very tight, high posture in a sense of regality, or a sense of poise, of chest high. They used to say tits out. So funny. Tits up. That's what we used to have to do in order to. Well, anyway. So some things that were really incredible to me. I didn't want to speak too much during it because it's an emotional piece. It's an emotional piece that is, yes, very poignant. And also something really interesting is that the vocalists, the plain chant, symbolizes the high elves, symbolizes their there's no vibrato, and everything moves in very, very, very tightly chord structurally. And what ends up happening here is that we have some. This is very much plain song stuff you hear in the Middle Ages, and it's incredibly clean. The other thing that I really liked is there was a bit of an interesting clash between, even though I wouldn't say that it was a clash, but there was a bit of a tension, like below the surface. And now, for those of you that know Somerset, and I know Gremlin that you asked for this, Somerset is so beautiful out on top, but deep in below the surface, that's where some of the stuff doesn't really land well. There's a bit of danger below the surface of Somerset. And what we get is this beautiful, beautiful exterior with a bit of a disturbing almost interior on the inside, right? And so there was a moment where the lower strings came back in, and they were dancing with the flute. And then the flute ended up having this wonderful trio discovery movement with, I believe, an English horn and with an oboe, and they were dancing, intertwining their emotional ideas together. But then what was really interesting is that what I really liked is the vocalists came in again 3 times, and this was around 5:59. Was it? No, I'm sorry, that was around 4:14-ish. And they had this wonderful covered style of singing where we were essentially very, 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 we call this covering. Covering is an idea vocally where essentially the difference is versus it's a very bright, very white sound. And we go, oh, the larynx is lower. There's a bit of height in the sound. We think of it as, it's almost like a 7, goes up, it goes up into the back of the head right here. And then it comes out. This is the dome, if you will, the dome back here. This is really where you want to be like thinking of placing sound, because we don't want sound to be here. And so there's a real like kupo sound to that where it's do you hear a difference between and you feel how that's much more frontal, much more exposed, whereas like has much more of a dome quality to it. I loved that soundscape, and truly, I mean, the what I found really interesting about this particular piece is the fact that it danced with ambient and melodic music. Hold on one second, I have to check to make sure. I hate you, Zach, for watching this. My best friend just sent me a lewd text message. Sorry, I'm just checking something really quick. Okay, yeah. This song is just it really has this incredible balance between ambience and melodic ideas, and so it dances between those things rather than either being fully ambient or fully melodic. It felt like it was intertwined within itself, and it was quite powerful. Thank you for sharing that with me. That was exceptionally good. It's hard for me because I want to take notes and not interrupt with certain pieces, but I also, like, there were so many times where I wanted to pause, but I also felt like I didn't want to disrupt close the... If someone's been keeping timestamps, I will be so appreciative. I just closed my timestamps. God bless it. Okay. It's hard to do everything at once. And you can highlight Sonia Libolade too. All right, Guild Wars 2. Whose side are you on? I don't know if I've heard this before. Probably not, because it looks like it's from the End of Dragons. Hey, happy 10 months, Bacon. I appreciate you so much. Love the mallet instruments in this. Oh, that's very unique. Nice double melody there with whatever this instrument is, and now it's with the strings and the upper flute thing there. Then the flute takes over while the other ones are singing. Nice. Now the brass has the melody. Nice. Then it structures out a little bit more. Wow! Cha 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 cha. Love these shifts so much. And there's the brass again, taking the melodic idea. Love that brass sforzando there. Oh, that's so nice. Wait. I want to, this is a perfect example of a sforzando, and I really want to get the point across. So sforzare is to force. And and sforzando means musically. So we have two different things, right? We have crescendi, decrescendi, and sforzandi. Well, there's others, but, or, you can do tenuti, whatever. But a sforzando is when you go and you pull back, right? Differently than a crescendo, which is so you take a crescendo, then reset it. And I think here, if I remember correctly, we had a really good example of a sforzando here. Yeah, right there. Bum, bum. That's a really nice example of a crescendo. Oh, it's sforzando. Wow. Now the strings have the melody. Flute accents. Unison movement there. Really exciting. Wow. What a great piece. Man, there's so many interesting things in there. There's so much intertwining, which I found really, really special and interesting, because we're essentially throwing the melody throughout a bunch of different instruments, whether it's the strings, whether it's the brass especially, and whether it's the violins. And so we have a lot of shifts in there, which keeps us on the edge of our toes. Also, the Eastern, I feel like they're Chinese instruments, I'm not positive, were lovely additions to this. Really gave us a sense of I guess exoticism would be the word, but it really gave us a sense of something unknown, something unique, something unavailable. You know what I mean? It's really interesting and a terrific piece that showcases strength. There's also quite a bit of I hesitate to say sensuality. I mean, I probably don't feel like that's probably the most appropriate word to use there. But it does such a great job of showcasing sensitivity as well. Really nice. And I think I'm like this close to like recommitting to finishing. Once I got the mounts in this, I ended up pulling back just because I didn't burn myself out, but I definitely was like, I got all the mounts, haha. But I'm on the way of finishing the My Story for the first section of it. But I'd like to really hear this End of Dragons, Whose Side Are You On, in context, because I really genuinely enjoy immensely Guild Wars 2, and I think it's a terrific MMO, and I never feel like I'm wasting my time when I play it. It's so good. Thank you for sharing that with me. What a great piece. And man, all these Turin.tier pieces have been absolutely exceptionally good. Kirby Wii Selection Soundtrack CD. The Final Battle. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on this song without context, so read this afterwards, or at least near the end. Also, sorry for how long the description ended up being. We'll listen later. Megalor's theme medley. Is that a bass clarinet? There's bassoon. We're doing some dancing here with the different instruments. Tension. That has a bit of a bop to it. Wow. Flute melody is not something you hear super frequently. Love that. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. 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 Love that. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Thrown into action here. Love the twinkling stars. We shift rhythmically. Pick up the tempo slightly. That MIDI VST trumpet, pretty bright. Tension there with the we're growing in volume. Rhythmic shift, lots of shifts in this. It's a medley, but still. Shut up. The bells signify evil. Really can't pin this down. Whoa, rhythmic. That's a meter shift there. Especially in the left hand. They're actually at odds with each other. That's interesting. Feels like the right hand symbolizes the right instruments. The brighter instruments, the woodwinds and stuff, symbolize Kirby, and that left side symbolizes Magalore. Yeah, growing in tempo here, or volume. Tension music. A lot of unison movement now with a backing support rhythmically. This is Heroics. Oh man, we didn't get it long enough. That's morphed a little bit disturbing. Man, I wanted more of that little motif. That's too bad. Now we're tension again. Interesting, tossing that through different instruments. That gives it a sense of tension, doesn't it? Key change. That's struggle. Let's go, Kirby. Let's go, Kirby. That's cool. Now it's in the strings again. Hey, that's Kirby's theme, but it's dilapidated. That's awesome. I love that little corner. Oh, tension. Man, what a crazy piece. That was like unrelenting. Let me think about this. So what I really liked about it is that it was impossible to grab hold of, right? There were a bunch of like motifs. Now, obviously it was a medley, but so there's a bunch of motifs in there that exist in that final battle. And yet we can't really ever pin it down because this is an enemy that is quite capable of destroying us. You know what I mean? And what's really fun is that then we get a lot of really nice sort of references and callbacks, sort of empowering us to do good and to defeat and vanquish evil. But then we get the real deformed version of, hey, Dark Lord, Dark Lord, you know, I think, wait, did you ask for, hold on one second. Did you ask for Baba? Oh, you just asked for Sogno di Volare, by the way. So I just did a really detailed breakdown of Sogno di Volare. If you want to rewind a little bit, that will be on the channel because it was a really detailed breakdown, just so you know. So I think I accidentally did it. Someone else asked for it, but then it worked out where I just did it here. So just so you know. What I really liked is the Kirby theme. That's from usually it's so bright and playful, whereas here we get it in a minor key, which is like such a wonderful thing that music can do. We can take an emotion, shift it, and then it can be a different emotion while using basically the same rhythm and note structure. Such an interesting thing about music, and so that was really fun. I mean, it was nice to, well, it wasn't nice, but it was interesting to hear Kirby's music in a different key than what it normally represents, and I think that did such a great job. Yes, isn't it the first level? But I want to see what you wrote. Kirby's friend has become. Oh, I can't. Okay, because oh, I know why. Hold on a second. I can't. Oh, now I can. Oh, there it is. All right, Crammon, I can sign in now, by the way. Okay. I was in the wrong email. Kirby's friend has become possessed by an artifact of infinite power called the Master Crown after stealing it. After chasing him down through space and back in the back of a dragon, you confront him. However, he's not the same. He's become cruel and power hungry, which we hear with the different rhythms. Greens. Yes, thank you. By the last phase, he is but a puppet to be used for the crown's own gains. His consciousness trapped within his twisted and mutilated body. He can do nothing but watch as he is forced to fight Kirby, a sad shell possessed by limitless power of the Master Crown. No more than a manifestation of the crown itself, all Kirby can do is fight to save the universe from its evil. So what we hear is the different locations of the universe and also fighting himself too. Super interesting piece and really, really just like a really nice, I think I've only heard like 4 Kirby pieces in my lifetime. So a really nice little homage to Kirby. Arknight, Antiphon of the Agonies of Old, Obadiah Brown Beach. Obadiah, I got to get that video up. Obi. Killed it with this one of my favorite game tracks of the year. Let's listen to Obi's new piece, shall we? Oh, I think, you know what? We listened to this in my interview with him. He likes this one, by the way. Yeah, that's just him singing. This is him singing this. The whispering is so exceptional in this. And then this like sort of like broken down chant. Oh, it's a little bit desperate. This is him playing too. Again, another really nice Gregorian chant using piece. I mean, he uses the Lacrimosa, Mozart Lacrimosa. It's so cool. It's so cool. I have thoughts. Down. Gorgeous choral writing there. Key change. Twirling. And what's really profoundly good about this piece is that it's actually very similar to the Limbus Company piece we heard earlier, in the sense that we're essentially taking a piece that we know, and Arknights does this quite a bit, and we're modifying it to represent something new, something different. Now, the feelings, it reminds me very much of the fact that we're using EDM and a different sound, a different genre, conjoining them together and creating a new sense emotionally. And what I really, really appreciate about this is a couple different things. First of all, the low brass in here, the low bass bass guitar in here is so satisfying. Really, really, really heavy, especially with you can literally feel the guitar riff sort of like vibrating or being hit. I love that feeling. Also, in terms of emotional states, you've got desperation, you have desire, willful desire for peace. You have what did I write? The strings represent a torrential downpour. Almost feels like we're stuck in a loop and we can't shake out of it. We can't change fate. We can't change destiny. We are stuck in this awful sensation of not knowing what to do and where to turn and how to navigate it, but yet we don't have a choice, and so we have to move through. I mean, it's a very common trope in video games in general, but here you really feel this sense of like, no, this can't be. I can't allow this to continue. I can't be here again. This needs to end now, so on and so forth. And so there's this real like sense of there's like almost a very primality in it, especially when that metal comes in. And I think that that's also represented by that lower bass, really heavy emphasis on the strings there. Really satisfying. I think using the Mozart Lacrimosa is such a chef's kiss touch, very intense. And again, the string torrential storm, I think, does a great job of like just showcasing just bleakness, emptiness, a feeling of loss, depression, not knowing where to turn, not knowing where to move, and feeling like our back is against the wall. And how do we stand up and fight against something that really wants us to not be able to stand up and fight? Really powerful piece. Obi's a great composer. They write like I think he said like 5 minutes of music like a day. I forget what the exact number is. It's in my interview with him that I have to post, but something crazy. And it was really interesting to get his perspective. He's a very chill dude. He also does a lot of this instrumentation himself, or he sings himself, of course. Really talented, really, really nice guy. And what an incredible piece. You patrons that are up in that higher tier really brought the pain today. I'm really impressed with basically every single one of these pieces in different ways. All of these make for such interesting conversations about music, all of them. And I'm really, really pleased. I see here that Redcar and Renshin, and yes, those two. We're skipping this until around Thanksgiving because it's a song about giving thankfulness. That's a very common theme for us. So let's move on to Star Fox Assault, the theme of Star Fox Team's Rivals. I picked this one over the newer one in Zero, as it uniquely stands out for balancing act of ruthlessness and elegance. That being said, both this and the Zero version stand on par with each other. This is Star Fox Assault, Star Wolf Assault. That's not. Sorry, wrong link. I picked your other one on accident. Whoa, that has a Wild West sound to it. Whoa, that's cool. Oh, I love that live sound. Love this pulled back part, but again with the I love orchestral music like this. Draw. I love that. I love how bright that is. That's that blue sky calling, isn't it? Love the snare in here. That's heroic, triumphant. Nice horn melody in there. Oh, you think it's going to repeat, but it doesn't. That makes it fun. Hey, doctor. Nice dancing here. I mean, what an amazingly fun piece, and I think it had such. I just love that it really felt like it had interesting diversity of music. It had really amazing instrumentation choices. I also really felt like the snare really was a highlight for me, as well as that muted trumpet. It was like such a fascinating and satisfying. Really, I don't think I've ever heard a single Star Fox piece. I think that might be the first time I've ever heard a Star Fox piece. Yeah. Cool. Metal Gleaned in the Light from Child of Light, which is on my to-do list. The in-game version of a boss theme, which includes the choir. Very underrated game. Yeah, I know. It's also not very long. It's like under 10 hours. Ubisoft Montreal. Love Ubisoft Montreal. That's so cool. That punches you in the face. That's satisfying. So. Love the piano underneath. Wait. That's a nice high A. That's so cool. Mm-hmm. That's a little crazy. A little bit off kilter rhythmically too. Shum ba bum ba bum. Bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum. Ba bum bum. Ha dum. Ha ha ha. Ba 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 goes a little crazy there with the trumpets and stuff. Da da ya. Whoa, did you hear that? That's that. What's it called? Fuck. That's a technique in trumpet playing. Double tonguing. Double tonguing? Whoa, that's kind of cool. Wait, is that right? I've never heard that. I don't think I've ever heard that in a video game before. Is that double tonguing? How do they do it? Could be, yeah. Oh, that was great. That's so interesting. Da, da, da. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. That was fun. Bomber Girl from... Huh? What the hell is that? Gurumin? I've never played this game, but I'm enamored with this track. My head hurts. I scrunched my head so hard. I low-key loved it. I I I I I uh I I I would I don't have anything for you. That may be I no I don't. What a what a discovery. Oh my god. That was crazy. I think no. I have nothing to say. I'm no. I would absolutely love to play that for a non-gamer. That piece will either completely change who they are as a person, or they will unequivocally hate it. It's incredible. It's either the worst song I've ever heard, or it's the fucking absolute best. It is so cacophonous, loud, unappealing. And then you like get under it a little bit, and it's wonderful. It's funky, weird, enjoyable, like totally like experimental, avant-garde. There was no in between with that one. It's relentless. All right. We're going to continue now. Let's go to Shin Megami Tensei Imagine. Battle Atavaka. This is one of my go-to tracks for any tech-based games that have a cyber theme to them. I miss SMT Imagine as a game. Really? guy scaling the peak there emotionally. Damn! Shin Megami Tensei. Megami. Fucking funky, bro. I like that a shit ton. That was amazing. Direna, the Queen's Nightmare from Phantasy Star 2 Online or Phantasy Star Online 2. Theme of a raid boss. Omega Fal's apprentice. Gameplay and lyrics included. The song uses an original in-game language, simply known as Omegan. The language itself is most likely inspired by Spanish. Nice upper register. Nice belty quality. Can't help but feel like it's a little Shokin coded. I mean, it's not related, but I'm just so used to the Final Fantasy 14 sound. Ew. Nice. That's bad. Bam, bam, bam. Damn, that's high. Da, 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 da. Why are you buffering so hard? That was interesting because it was so like heroic. It really heralded, like, I don't know, like it really felt the entire time like it was like inviting heroicism, making us feel really powerful. There were some twists and turns in there that I feel like are probably pretty obvious, but in general I felt that it was very it almost felt like heralding sunshine or inviting like triumph against adversity. Like it really was bright and energetic, you know. It's cool. I enjoyed that. It was nice. It was very nice. It was nice. Next up is more Civilization. Shankar. What in the Georgia theme? This is Georgia's Atomic Era theme. It's a sort of semi-futuristic reimagining of things. Shankar Vanaki is a medieval Georgian hymn, supposedly about the Virgin Mary. Sekvanis Tamar Kali is a Georgian song I know nothing about. Perfect. mouse chanted. Very, very super hymn-like, obviously. Oh. Oh, wow. Nice counter melody, man. This person's name is Crouching Pervert Hidden Boner. It's just this is too good. This is too good. This is too fucking good. This is too good. Puzzles, Professor Layton. Since we already did my favorite main theme, here's my favorite puzzle theme. It's interesting how I didn't expect it to be spooky, but I suppose it's playful though at the same time. Nice syncopation there. That was so peaceful. You know, what was interesting about that is that, like, I think it really felt like this, like, I don't know, especially the mallet, there is a bit of like exploration in that music, of course. And there was a real feeling almost of like, it felt like we were searching for something. Now, obviously Professor Layton puzzles and, like, you know, putting two and two together and clicking here, like visual novel ish type stuff. But it's like, it felt, obviously there was a bit of like spooky Last Spectre vibes to it, but it was very, very, very peaceful, and quite very, very comforting and a delight. It's like, I also really liked how we had that big, beautiful swell there near the end, and I also appreciated and like, that brings out like the gentleness of this. I don't know. It's almost like the Spectre is just sad that they're the last one, you know, or there's a playfulness. There's like they're like funny, you know. I don't know. It was so like lovely, just lovely. Oh, sparkling seal, oh sky, from Suikoden 4. One of the overworld travel BGMs. You travel by sailing in this game, so this plays when you're steering a slightly awkward boat around the various islands. Just like going like this. I mean, like simple, basic, but also, I also think that piece, like, again, whether or not it's the most divinely beautiful piece of video game music ever written, no, probably not. But does it tell a story? Is it a melody that you would just hear over and over and over and get super sucked into? Yeah, 1,000,000%. It's cool. I really appreciated that. It had such a like old school flavor to it, which was really enjoyable as well. Let's see. Yeast, Memories of Celceta, Foliage, Ocean, in Celceta, Land of the Age of Gods. For an all-right action RPG, as all Yeast games are, with a not quite my cup of tea story, this one had a pretty hard-going soundtrack. All Yeast games have hard-going soundtracks. Sorry for multiple names. Naming is kind of a mess here. Track was called one thing in the iTunes and something else on YouTube and Wiki. That's all right. Land of the Age of Gods of Ancient Land. Yep, that sounds about right. Ha ha! Fucking dual harmony in that electric guitar. harpsichord. Violin's popping. Oh, we pulled back a little bit. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's an interesting point that Yeast tracks can be a little bit samey. I think part of the problem with Yeast, based on what I've heard, I mean, they're all bangers. The thing is, they're all bangers, and part of the problem is that they don't necessarily differentiate all the time. I certainly see that perspective. What I find interesting though is that if you take a listen to like Lacrimosa of Dana's main theme, or Sunshine Coastline, Yeast 7 especially, I think has a different soundscape that is really interesting because it's similar instruments, but ever so slightly different. Yes, Yeast, I haven't played all of them, but they do have this soundscape in it. Melodically driven electronic guitar music and electric guitar music, I should say. And but I would hazard to guess that maybe you haven't heard Lacrimosa of Dana's main theme, which is super orchestral and really beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful theme piece. Okay, so I gotta tell you the truth. We're at 15 tracks. I gotta admit, I'm a little bit cooked just because of everything that happened with my mom this morning and having to take her to the urgent care and stuff. So I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna pause here. We got to about 15-ish songs. We had to start later than normal. I like to start at 1 o'clock now, just so that we can go till 5, so that we can really crank out like 25 to 30 songs. I think it's probably best to just push pause because I'm starting to, she sprained her ankle, so I was helping her out today. But I'm like eternally tired because it's like from 7:30 a.m. until 2. I was with my mom and going to the doctor and stuff. So I'm a little bit fried. So if it's cool with you, we'll stop here and we'll pick back up next Friday. Let's do something. Let's do every Friday is a Patreon stream. And then I think let's do like 2 Wednesdays a month. 2 Wednesdays a month should be community streams, which are not for patrons. Well, they are, but they're for everybody. That'll be really fun. Whether it's listening to an entire soundtrack again, I've missed doing that. I'm not sure why I suddenly stopped, but that I shouldn't have. So we'll do that, and then I think around that time I'll have to figure out when to film and do stuff. And then also, yeah. I feel like that would be a really fun way to do more community stuff. I'll do some more polls here in the not too distant future. Probably next week I'll start a poll about what we should listen to as an entire OST reaction and analysis. So thanks a ton, everybody. I appreciate you hanging out. Have a great rest of your weekend. The anime music stream, those those stopped happening because of copyright. Thanks, Ollie. I will. So I couldn't do those anime streams anymore. So yeah. And also my anime channel actually did not get claimed or did not get approved for monetization. So that's also not happening. The channel's still happening, but I'm not going to be monetized on that channel, unfortunately, which is whatever. So I'm hoping to pick up some more ads and stuff for, yeah, kind of annoying. But hopefully with my manager, we can do it that way. So with that, of course, I'm enjoying it as well. Yeah, it's a bummer. I don't know why. It's unfortunate that the copyright laws are so strict with Japan. It is what it is. I do have a Pokemon video hopefully coming out this weekend. It just depends on whether or not how much of it gets claimed and how much of it gets blocked. So I need to see what's going on there with that. So, because I really like the Sonic videos. This will be this will be a Pokemon deep dive. I haven't ever done one. So, all right, I'll keep you posted on that.